It is Friday Eve. That's right. Thursday edition of PHLY Phillies Podcast. Welcome in, everybody. Bienvenidos to PHLY Phillies Podcast. We've got Jamie Lynch, Tyler Zulli, myself, Renee Washington, and we've got all of you already in the chat with the conversation. I'm not sure who was first, Tyler. If you scroll up, let's see who won today. It was Dave P. with the first comment about rotisserie chicken.
Ooh, Bell and Evans. You ever get their chicken?
No.
Bell and Evans, you guys should advertise with us because I will sell with my heart, soul, and passion.
Is that how we got onto Chicken Talk?
Yeah, he said, I'm getting a rotisserie chicken to celebrate being first. Bell and Evans is my favorite. And Dave P knows chicken because that is some high-quality stuff right there. I get that for the girls, and I end up hoping that they leave some leftovers so I get to nail a couple nuggets.
It sounds like it's a great way to celebrate being the first one in the chat with some chicken. Go get yourself some chicken right now.
Who doesn't love some chicken? Come on now.
I love chicken. I love all types of chicken.
Yeah, we grabbed the rotisserie bird at the grocery store
chicken
is
nuggets.
A great purchase. You can make chicken salad out of it. You can get dinners out of it. You can do it with a whole bunch of different meals for like $7-8.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. There's our ad for the day.
Chicken.
Get some chicken. Come and get your chicken. Yeah. So welcome in Spiral Out, King Krabs, Dave, everybody that's in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's join the conversation because a name we actually haven't talked a lot about recently, which is wild. Jamie, you and Dave are on the same page for sure.
We know chicken.
You know chicken. You know your chicken. And you know what else we know? Our ace, Zack Wheeler. Now, we haven't had a chance or a reason really to talk a lot about Zack Wheeler as of late. In fact, we haven't really had to talk much about the Phillies in general. A lot of the Hot Stove updates have been other teams, and we've been following what's going on around the league. Of course, keeping an eye on how that affects the Phillies and who potentially will be added to the Phillies. Well, let's talk about some extensions in terms of Zack Wheeler. Now, Zack Wheeler is set to become a free agent after the 2024 season, which is the last of his 5-year, $118 million deal that he signed back prior to 2020. And I know we talked about it on the show before that Zack Wheeler's extension has to be a priority. We've talked Aaron Nola signing. We've talked Bryce Harper's contract being rejigged and reconfigured. And Zack Wheeler's extension is absolutely something that's a priority. And we know Dave Dombrowski did mention when asked about Zack Wheeler around the time of Aaron Nola's signing, he mentioned, we know we'd like to keep him in the organization for a lengthy period, but it's not always easy. So it's something that I'm sure we'll pursue at some point, but I'm not sure at this point how important it is for Wheeler's camp at this time. Now, Todd Zalecki did write a piece on this, Jamie, and talking about the future for Zack, whether or not that extension happens and what it means if it doesn't happen. What are your thoughts on Zack Wheeler's extension needing to be signed?
It was in Todd's story yesterday where he mentioned the Wheeler extension, and it just got me thinking, like, in terms of priority of Phillies moves to come, is this actually the next most important thing? Because Aaron Nola is taken care of. That stress has been, relieved. You need an outfielder, but I'm getting the sense that they're not going to go like huge and spend big money on an outfielder. Bullpen arms are always added to what degree or via trade or whatever. So they're kind of minor things. And Todd's point in his story yesterday was like, I think it's his sense that there's not that pressure from the Wheeler camp to get a deal done.
Yeah.
Because hitting free agency right now, like, he's not going to do anything until Yamamoto signs.
Yeah.
And when Yamamoto signs, he's going to go, okay, if he got 205, I can probably get 230 or 240. Mm-hmm. He is a little bit older. He's older than Aaron Nola. He's, I believe, 34, yeah. So by the end of this deal, depending on how many years, is he one of these Scherzer, Verlander types that can go into their early 40s? I don't know. He's shown no signs of declining, but I think a Zack Wheeler extension might be the next big Phillies move, or maybe another way to say it is the most important next move that they make. So Todd really got me thinking with that yesterday, because I do think it's the most important thing the Phillies are going to have on the table in front of them this offseason. You know, we're on the doorstep of the winter meetings here where a lot of stuff's going to happen. And I'm sure Zack Wheeler's camp isn't in a rush because free agency might be very appealing to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I know as Todd was posing the question about if Zack Wheeler's camp would like to test the waters a bit and see what numbers, they can entertain in free agency. Listen, every year the market goes up. The price tag goes up.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Correct. Period, Jamie. And so for Zack Wheeler, the ace and the best pitcher in the league right now, one of the top pitchers in the league right now, to have an opportunity to stick his toes out in the free agency waters and see what sticks. As Dave Nabrowski talked about around Aaron Nola, it's consistent for everybody. Free agency is an opportunity for guys to kind of see what their options are. And even if he's not considering leaving the Phillies, to at least put that pressure on that his contract extension or, whatever his future looks like needs to match what other pitchers are getting, especially as one of the best in the league right now. So when you talk about Verlander and Scherzer, Zack Wheeler signing a deal like each of them have signed in recent years could make sense.
Yeah, and that was part of Todd's story as well, where he said they did sign those short-term big money deals, but then you're talking about $44 million a year.
Yeah,
but you keep the years in an advantage for the Phillies. So he might be a candidate for one of those. I think I saw somebody in the chat say, if he wants, Dave P, my chicken
your guy
man.
Again. You guys are the same pitch
said
again.
If he wants, I'll go 4 for 120 with him.
Right.
I think it's going to cost you more than that, especially if they start shooting for these Scherzer and Verlander type of numbers. If they're going to forfeit a couple years, you might have to up that closer to like 40. And Todd does say, look, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball now, proven. When the Phillies got him on this bargain type of deal, they were betting on him becoming this guy. Well, he became this guy. And this is from Todd's story. Wheeler's 19.6 B WAR and 19.3 F WAR for the past 4 seasons is the best in the majors. Wheeler's 2.42 ERA in the postseason is the 6th best in MLB history with a minimum of 10 starts. So Zack Wheeler has earned his money.
Yeah.
I think it would be beneficial to the Phillies to get it done, but you need 2 to tango, as they say, Renee. And I don't know. Reading Todd's story, I just went like, it seems to me like Zack Wheeler's camp wants to hit free agency.
Well, as you talk about these...
And that's just my interpretation. He might not have meant that, but that's the way I interpret it.
Well, I know even the point that Dave Dombrowski was making about, I'm not sure how important it is for Zack Wheeler's camp at this time, leaves you to speculate there might be potential that he does want to hit free agency. As you talk about those deals, Max Scherzer signed a 3-year, $130 million contract that runs through 2024 with a $43.33 million AAV. He's 39. Verlander, who's 40, signed a 2-year, $86.7 million deal that runs through 2024, also with the same $43.33 million AAV. Then you have other pitchers like Jacob deGrom, who's got a $37 million AAV, Garrett Cole, $36 million, Steven Strasburg, $35 million, that did sign longer-term deals. But the numbers are going up. And so for Zack Wheeler, you talk about his stats have him as the best in postseason history in major league, in the majors right now. He's absolutely deserving of being paid more. And when he signed his deal back before 2020 at $118 million to now, it's a different Zack Wheeler. It was a huge deal.
It was a steal.
But now he's deserving of more. And so I'm all for playing hardball a little bit. You know what your worth is. You know what your value is. Zack Wheeler's proven himself. You get the Phillies. You help get the Phillies to the World Series, the NLCS. You're the best, one of the best in the league. To ching, ching, ching. It seems like I think they might actually be looking to get into free agency, or at least push the envelope.
Yeah, I would want to, but again, with baseball, it's guaranteed money. So like, if he goes out there and has Tommy John surgery at age 34, 35, he might lose, some guaranteed money there. So it's that fine line of like, yeah, we want to hit free agency. Oh, but baseball's guaranteed. Do I take the guaranteed money because that's good for life? And Mopar in the chat was saying, when do you expect the deal done? I would imagine that they're going to handle this the same way they did with Nola last year, which is once spring training comes around, the agent's going to be there in Florida. Zach will be there, obviously. I would imagine they start to negotiate around that time. But again, that's just a guess. Because if I'm Zack Wheeler's camp, I want the winter meetings to happen. I want the offseason to play out. I want to see what Jordan Montgomery's making so I know what I can, if you value Zack Wheeler as an A-plus pitcher and Jordan Montgomery as a B-plus pitcher, you gauge your scales based on what the market reset at. So I would imagine in spring training, they'd sit down and try and get something done. It'll be interesting to me because Zack Wheeler did have a little bit of an injury past in New York, and that's part of why the Phillies got him on such a good deal. Does he want to take the risk? Because that's one thing the Phillies have in their advantage here is that it's guaranteed money. Do you want the carrot dangling in front of your face, or do you want to go throw 210 innings and hope you come out healthy?
Yeah.
It's a tough one for the athlete because it's guaranteed money. This isn't the NFL.
Right.
This isn't, NBA is guaranteed, but MLB, it's guaranteed. So, hopefully they get it done. I'd like to see them get it done. I'd be all for, a 4-year deal for, I don't know, 150, whatever that roughly comes out. You're the mather of the two of us. What's that?
I wasn't. Wait, run those numbers by me.
4 years, 150. What does that come out
4
to?
4 years, 150 runs you at about
37?
just under 30. Yeah, it's just under 40. So,
so like 37, 38. If you want to do something like that,
it is. Yeah, 38.2.
Yeah. Here's a check
per year.
I'll go 4 for 150 with Zack Wheeler if that's what he wants. Keep it low for the team. And because look, Andrew Painter, I saw somebody else mention him in the chat. He kind of changed everything because the Phillies thought he was going to be up this past year and they were going to have a chance to evaluate him versus major league hitters. And then if Andrew Painter was legit,
right,
maybe you don't sign Nola. Maybe you just extend Wheeler then. But now that Andrew Painter, these 2 years right now are kind of that important future current bridge builder, and Painter's injury kind of made you have to go all in for both of these guys. So it's an interesting thing, and Todd really had me thinking yesterday, I think Zack Wheeler is the most important thing the Phillies need to get done.
Yeah, I know. I think it was MBDBDBF that was saying that he's the bridge to Painter. It was unfortunate that, we haven't had a chance to evaluate how Painter was going to pitch, and now we have to wait another season. Because it would give you a little bit more clarity into the future and what makes most sense. But I do also feel like when you're looking at wanting better at-bats, outfielders, pitching arms, all of that is great, but Zack Wheeler is more important than Aaron Nola signing. Zack Wheeler is the ace. He's the one that you have to make sure you are keeping him happy, you're keeping him here, you've got him locked in. I know Chris was talking about Doc in the chat and how he feels like Zach is the closest to Roy that he's seen with the Phillies.
Damn.
I mean, there are very few starting pitchers in our lifetime specifically that we've seen that have the heart and soul. You want to talk about whole hearts, have the whole hearts of the Phillies. And Zack Wheeler has earned that and proven that, and someone that you want to make sure that you have here happy for the future.
Yeah, I mean, this 3-year run he's been on in a Phillies uniform is right up there. I haven't done the side-by-side, but maybe tomorrow we deep dive that because I know Tyler would get all baseball horny over that conversation. The 3 years of Roy Halladay versus the 3 years of Wheeler versus the 3 years of Hamels prime.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, and you could even bring in, the other aces and Cliff Lee and Roy Oswalt. He's probably been right there statistically. I'm just guessing here, at least even, and you might even be able to make the case one of the best.
Yeah.
Doc's probably slightly better statistically, I would guess, but man, absolute home run of a signing when it happened, and now you want to lock him up, and
for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. Pay the man his money, as Teddy KGB would say.
John saying in the chat, Rodolfo Castro's unsigned, and we're talking about Zack Wheeler. Yes, John. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the chat, I know you guys are sharing your thoughts for sure. It's I see Matt Klentak in the chat as well.
Well, his name crossed my mind this morning too. With some news because he's in Milwaukee. We'll get to that when we get to the morning hot stove here. A couple of Phillies things to tie a bow on. But yes, Matt Klentak's name did cross my brain this morning.
Huh. there's a lot that's come across the Major League Baseball news radar. So we have a lot to get into today. Let's keep this train rolling, though, moving along. Let's go next into more Phillies updates. I know I saw the email, and then our coworker Steve also sent us the email about the London series in 2024, which will be here before we know it, guys, because it's already almost December, which is wild to think about. And that being said, you guys also will have an opportunity to take advantage of the pre-sale tickets that are coming out. There's an exclusive weekend ticket pre-sale for the London series that begins today at 10 a.m. So you guys are able to take advantage of booking your tickets. The London series is June 8th and 9th at the London Stadium. And of course, you have the option. There's like the weekend tickets option, or there's day tickets. And that will give you, depending on, what you're purchasing, either seats to both games in the series or seats to one. And then there are other, restrictions in there. Like you can only buy up to 10 tickets. You can only, you have to wait until the day tickets. That's a whole lot. But when you go to the website on Ticketmaster, I know they're one of the spots that are selling tickets that you are able to check out and secure your seat to the London series. That's
have you done London before?
I have not. It's on my list.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's worth the trip. Yeah. And I think seeing the Phillies over there would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and I think Dave is right. I think it sounds basically like we're going to have a PHLY trip to London because, hey, who knows?
Yeah,
my passport's ready.
I may have already planted a seed there with some of the powers that be. So
listen,
hopefully it is something we can do.
We've been planting some seeds for PHLY to be at a lot of different events around the Phillies coming up and around Major League Baseball to be out there. So don't you worry. You're going to be seeing someone, whether it's us or someone from our team, that's going to be out making an appearance at these major off-season events and things like that.
Maybe have some more news tomorrow on that.
Yeah, so we'll drop some more. We've been planting seeds all off-season so far, guys.
Yes, Dave P., I would love to pound some 40-ounce British cask beer with you. Fuller's.
I don't even like beer, but I would drink beer in London.
So they like the room temperature beer over there out of the cask.
I mean,
it's really good. A Fuller's pale ale.
One in London, why not? A pale ale?
Oh, Fuller's is good. Their cuisine, not for me. But
okay.
I mean, if you go into like Michelin rated 5-star restaurants, I'm sure it's great. But just the general cuisine.
I don't even know what a general. I know we
bangers and mash. You ever have bangers and mash? Sausage and mash. And the true English
sausage?
Yeah.
I like sausage.
The true English breakfast. I think Canadian bacon is kind of weird. And they do beans. They do beans with their eggs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it's fine. But the pubs are great, so we'll have a good time if we go.
We'll just be not eating and just at the pubs, just drinking.
It's fine with me.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
If I was in Nashville next week for the winter meetings, I think the alcohol would get the best of me down there.
Oh,
just a guess.
Oh,
so there was a couple other one last thing that Zalecki kind of alluded to in his piece yesterday was he's kind of speculating that the red jersey is going to be the one to go. So,
but possibly being replaced with the City Connect having red is my guess.
Maybe.
I assume the City Connect jersey would be red.
I've seen a couple theories. There's a guy on Twitter, Matt Albertson, who's one of the Sabre members of Philadelphia. He was speculating there's a light blue. It was either 1938 or 1948 light blue Phillies uniform with a little bit of gold in there.
Oh.
And he's just guessing. He's speculating that could be an homage to that throwback.
So, okay.
So if it was a light blue, not the powder, but there's already the powder blue, so I would find that a lot of blue.
That's what I feel like that's weird. That's too many blues.
Yeah.
You can't have a powder blue and a light blue.
Yeah.
I agree. Unless you're getting I can't even say the words. Getting rid of the I can't say it.
The blue and gold always makes me think of those terrible Eagles uniforms.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
the
my
yellow
gosh.
jacket things.
I know we talked about those before, but Tyler and I had a chance to talk about those awful Eagles light blue.
Yeah, blue and gold just makes me think of that.
No.
So one of the two other rumors in Phillies land, and then we'll get to the morning's hot stove here. Jeff Passan threw in two other teams that dabbled in the Aaron Nola market. I always find it interesting to see who when it comes out, who's got sour grapes that they weren't really considered. And Jeff Passan says the Blue Jays and the Reds were the two other teams that showed interest in him. Blue Jays have some pretty good pitching up there, but it makes sense. He could have kind of like maybe put them over the top a little bit with some of their offensive young talent and pitching staff. And the Reds, they've been a team, we talked about them yesterday. Like the NL Central is kind of buzzing a little bit. You know, the Cubs make the big move with Craig Counsell, managerial wise. They're in for Shohei and Yamamoto and all these big money guys. The Reds seem to be in on a lot of these starting pitchers because they have a young core that's pretty exciting. The Brewers could potentially be selling a lot of pieces. I read a piece yesterday, I think from Rosenthal, that says now maybe they keep Burns because they do have a lot of talent. I saw something about Christian Yelich online this morning, which, by the way, does intrigue me a little bit. I'm just going to say, I know he's not Christian Yelich of 4 years ago. But so the NL Central is kind of like on fire a little bit. So interesting to see the Reds in there. And then the last piece of Phillies news, Renee, there was a piece on The Athletic this morning from a writer named Eno Saris. And he did like the 12 potential future stars in Major League Baseball. And the reason it caught my eye was because top left of his story is Preston Mattingly. And I went, oh, okay. And Preston Mattingly, he goes on to say, is basically one of the fastest risers in the game. Mattingly is for sure a future general manager, one rival executive said. Just the best person. He's worked with players, coaches, scouts, and analysts, and everyone loves him. So it does seem like this might be Preston Mattingly's last year with the organization.
It is great when you have the perspective, you know, to step into a management role and have had an opportunity to work with so many different people. And that just allows you to, when you're understanding the roles, you're understanding what they're doing daily, you're understanding how to best work with them, and to be someone that everywhere you go or whoever you work with, the players love you, the club as a whole loves you. Yeah, that would be sad, but it's like one of those bittersweet things because you want to see coaches go off and do great things and get head coaching jobs or, you know, move
it's like
up.
Brian Johnson getting talked about now. It's like,
right.
It's
like
funny
that's our
because
guy.
we hate he gets hate on a little bit too much here. But then other teams, a lot.
People are calling for, there's like fire Brian Johnson.
Every Sunday I get texts from, I'll throw my buddy Holtman under the bus, like, get Brian Johnson out of here.
All you ever see.
I'm like, dude, they're 10-1 in like the top 5 offense. Like, what are you talking about? I understand some things optically, but anyway, Preston Mattingly seems like he's going to be gone. He was named the assistant general manager this year by the Phillies, probably in a little attempt to give him a pay bump and, insulate him for another year or so. But the other name on this list as well that had to do with the Phillies is Phillies pitching coach Caleb Cotham.
CC.
Yeah. Oh, we got nicknames for Caleb Cotham now. CC. Caleb Cotham, Saris goes on to say basically is destined to be a manager in this game. He's equal parts curious, rational, highly skilled in game strategy and building relationships with players, a rival executive says. He's a rare breed whose impact is felt well beyond simply the pitching coach. So it looks like, the Phillies are going to lose some talent here from the executive and coaching ranks. And that's the mark of success, right? Shane Steichen left. Yep. Jonathan Gannon left.
You make a deep run in the postseason. You're probably not bringing back your coordinators. You're probably not bringing back for the Phillies someone like Caleb. That's the nature of the beast. It's like, again, bittersweet because you're not running. This is what I always tell people. Quick 30-second rant. This is why no matter how well you do the season prior, it doesn't matter the next season because there's a target on your back and you do not have the same group. You are always going to lose coaches, especially when you run to the Super Bowl, the World Series, even the NLCS. You're just not bringing back the same people, which makes a whole different makeup of your group that the core is not back.
Yeah, and I think why you pay to get a Dave Dombrowski and a Howie Roseman and keep those guys is, they know that 3 to 5 year plan. Like you have to build the culture that's developing these guys behind the guys so that when a Shane Steichen leaves, a Brian Johnson is ready to just step right in seamlessly and take over. And hopefully they have that person in mind behind Caleb Cotham and Preston Mattingly. And hopefully they don't lose Brian Barber on top of it because overall in the Dave Dombrowski tenure compared to, and we will talk about Matt Klentak in a second, I would give them like pretty much an A+.
Yeah.
Because they improved the big league club. they helped the ownership group spend money, and they developed the farm system into something that, for the decade of misery that was the Phillies from 2012 to 2021, basically.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me, the MJ Bros? I'm sorry to cut you off. How ridiculous are you? It is sports that we're talking about, and you have the nerve to attack somebody for losing their child? Are you that? Please block that man. How ridiculous are you? It is never that serious. I'm so sorry, Tyler. I would come give you a hug if I could. It is never that serious in sports to come into a show and attack somebody. He's not trying to deflect. This is his reality. And it's a reminder for all of you, when you want to troll somebody and talk about sports and talk shit over our opinions on sports, that there are bigger things that are more important in this world besides your dumb opinions about your teams. Tyler Zulli and his family is grieving, and you have the nerve to attack him because he posted a vulnerable post. He didn't have to share that with you because of this exact reason, asshole. Are you kidding me? And for anybody else that has the audacity to try to act like he needs to deflect from his opinion on a trade with anything personal, please don't join our show ever again. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
My gosh. Have a heart.
That makes me sick.
It's not that serious. We are talking about sports here. And you have the nerve to attack this man and his family in a time where they're grieving a child? That's fucking ridiculous. Please don't ever come back to the show. And if we see you back in the show, you're getting booted immediately.
Yeah, we're a community of positivity here.
Gosh.
And that was like truly one of the most vile things I've ever seen.
I am so sorry, Tyler.
You're a horrible person, and Tyler, we got your back.
Jesus.
Community's got your back, and everybody in there. That's a despicable display of humanity.
At the end of the day, we are talking about sports. And I had to say this to that jerk Kevin who's always tweeting at us on Twitter. This is sports. This is not life or death. And so what we're saying on this show, our opinions, our updates, our news, the rumors, the signings, as much as we're having fun with it, it's not the end of the world. There are bigger problems in this world than what we're talking about here in terms of sports. And if you are that out of touch with reality, please don't join our show. We're trying to give a great experience for everybody just talking sports, but there are way bigger, more pressing things happening for us personally, as well as the rest of the world. And you never, ever come into any of our chat rooms with this type of nonsense. Please, good Lord.
That was disgusting.
Wow.
Let's just move on because that's going to derail my brain for the rest of the day. People are sick, and don't pay it any mind, Tyler. We love you, buddy, and that's what you've gone through is something many people I know and care about have gone through, and it's a horrible thing. And you guys are in the grieving process, and that person deserves hell for saying that. So let's just move on.
Well, I did want to get into some updates around Juan Soto and our morning hot stove updates. First, let me just tell you guys about FOCO really quickly. I don't have a segue for this at all because I'm heated a little bit, but FOCO does a tremendous job, leading manufacturer of merchandise. And over at FOCO, if you use code PHLY, you get 10% off of your purchase. They have everything from collectibles to toys, bobbleheads, apparel, sweatshirts, hats. They've got all types of things that you can purchase at FOCO to be able to have the latest jerseys and t-shirts and sunglasses, whatever it is you're looking to purchase. Go on over to FOCO, use the code PHLY10 to get 10% off of your purchase. All right, let's resume talking about some hot stove updates because there have been a lot.
It's buzzing this morning.
The Yankees and Padres conversations have continued, and now we've talked a lot on the show about the poor Padres and how they're looking to financially reset things. So John Heyman did talk on Bleacher Report's show on Wednesday, then also saw some different things from The Athletic Wednesday as well, and all the different updates are very similar and consistent. Now, for the Athletic specifically, Brendan Kuty, I think is how you say his last name. Apologies, that's incorrect. I don't know. It's Kuty. I think it's Kuty. Kuty, maybe. Kuty. Brendan K. from The Athletic.
Oh, Brendan K.
Reported late Wednesday that the teams have continued to talk about potential deal and are inching closer to the point that they now have also talked through who's off limits, who they would be considering in the trade for 25-year-old Juan Soto and the Padres. So a source tells The Athletic that the Yankees are reluctant to surrender upper echelon young talent in terms of prospects, such as righty starting pitcher Drew Thorpe, or recently arrived big leaguers such as Jason Dominguez and shortstop Anthony Volpe. So San Diego is believed to be targeting starting pitching that could help in the majors as soon as next season. The Yankees could offer righty Clark Schmidt, who's currently in their rotation, or Will Warren or Chase Hampton. So there's been some names of prospects and different guys that they've been looking to include in the deal, and it's inching closer to an actual trade happening between the Padres and the Yankees.
If I had to make a guess, it goes down at the winter meetings next week. So, which is going to be really interesting, starting on Monday morning down in Nashville. Sunday, I'm sure everybody will get into Nashville and, start the agent ownership talks, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the Rule 5 draft, I believe, on Thursday or Friday. So that's the timeline of next week. But it feels like this is like there's been enough like seedling droppings.
Oh my God, I know.
That's just leading up to this going down at the winter meetings. I think he's going to be a Yankee for sure. And what we talked about yesterday is what just came up again in that piece. The Padres have 700 innings potentially gone from their team last year between all the starters and bullpen arms that they're potentially losing. So it does seem like they're going to use Juan Soto to replace a bunch of those innings. And the Yankees are desperate and, need to be important again and produce some runs. And Juan Soto is a great way to do that. So, they have a great farm system. They'll sell it. And I think Juan Soto is going to be a New York Yankee. And the Death Star will continue to be evil with Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge and potentially Juan Soto. That is pretty filthy. And, for the 24 games they play together, it'll be pretty formidable.
Yeah, 35 home runs, of course, 275 average, 930 OPS in 2023. Juan Soto, we don't need to even go through his stats in much more detail. You just know what, at 25 years old, he could bring to the Yankees.
It feels like he's been in the majors like a decade already.
That's the thing. I remember when he went to the Padres, and even then I felt like he was older, veteran. Like, Juan Soto feels like he's been around forever.
He's still a baby.
He's still young. He still has so much of his baseball career, hopefully ahead of him. And so the John Heyman reports, the different athletic reports, it seems like it's absolutely going to happen that we're going to see a Juan Soto deal sooner than later.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it'll be early next week, but it's just a guess.
Yeah.
Winter meetings are going to be fun. I think a lot of stuff's going to happen. And a couple things did happen in the baseball world, and we're speaking of babies before we get to the Mets news from yesterday. A baby has signed a very lucrative deal and became a very rich baby. As 19-year-old outfield prospect, center fielder, number 2 prospect in baseball leading up to this year, Jackson Chourio from the Milwaukee Braves. And this is where Matt Klentak's name was on my mind.
The who?
Braves.
The who?
Milwaukee Braves.
They have not
They
been
were
the-
originally
They
the
have
Milwaukee
not been in
Braves.
Milwaukee in a long time, my friend.
I wasn't
Milwaukee
going to let you
Brewers.
slide. Somebody was ready to chop you down after you
Did
you
Hank
said
play in Milwaukee? Or is that
Yes.
was right? He did, yeah.
Correct.
Right. So no,
I believe it. I'll go back and
I
try
think he
to
played like
find
2
out
or
how
3
many
years in
years, but
Milwaukee before he went to Atlanta.
he was there for a bit.
Yeah. So yes, obviously not the Milwaukee Braves, the Milwaukee Brewers signed
I got you, Jamie. I got you.
the richest deal ever for a minor leaguer. He has only played in 6 games above Double-A. He signs an 8-year, $80 million deal for Jackson Chourio. I'm assuming he's going to be their opening day center fielder next year. So this is like one of those deals like in Acuna and Albies or a Scott Kingery, where you basically buy a guy out of 2 or 3 years of free agency and arbitration, lock him in now for a big deal. And look, when Jackson Chourio becomes a free agent, he's still going to be like 27.
It's wild.
So he gets $80 million now. The Brewers get a bargain if he ends up being as good as projected to be for 8 years, and he can then sign, that Juan Soto kind of Aaron Judge level of contract if he's the real deal. But the Milwaukee Brewers do something outside the box, and Matt Klentak again is tied to a contract before an at-bat at the major league level, as he's the assistant GM now out in Milwaukee. So Jackson Chourio breaks Lewis Roberts' deal of $50 million as the previous richest minor leaguer to major league without a day of experience.
Yeah, well, after
Cha-ching.
just 6 games above Double-A, congratulations to Jackson Chourio for making
Not bad.
As to
19
think
years old.
That contract, 8 years, $80 million is wild to think about at 19 years old. And as you talk about, a historic contract at that.
What would 19-year-old Renee spend?
A 19-year-old Renee would not have known what to do with any of that money. That's why
$80 million. What's 19-year-old Renee doing?
I'm probably partying. At that point in my life, I was out in these streets, man. So I probably am traveling to all the big cities. I would have been to London by now if 19-year-old me had $80 million. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I probably would have just been partying a
I
lot.
think I probably would be passed out.
I would have been
drunk
on
a lot of
beach
places.
somewhere. Yeah, I definitely would have flown
Tyler,
somewhere.
what about you?
Yeah,
Where are you going?
I think you're right. Like you think about it and you go, okay, well, I know 30-year-old me could bills and a house and a
Yeah.
vacation, blah blah blah.
Now it's
But
time
at
to burn.
19, I'm like, the only reasonable thing that I would be able to consider would be to like pay off my college tuition. Everything after that would be luxury, right?
Yeah,
It would be like
yeah,
I'm buying this car and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I don't know, like I don't think a 19-year-old can like because we've never done it. I'm sure that you may be able to you know, change your mindset, but it's got to be so hard for a 19-year-old to wrap your head around $10 million.
And to be mature enough to handle that. 19-year-old
Like-
me was driving a 2002, 2001 Kia Spectra with roll-up windows.
Like
Oh,
that,
yeah, I had a
that's
Taurus
and
with
everything was
roll-up.
manual. And it wasn't my car, it was my parents' car. I didn't own my own car yet. I didn't have any college bills because I got a full ride to LaSalle, so I actually don't have any college debt for my undergrad or master's. But I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, guys. Sorry. So I really don't know what I would do. Like I would have no bill. I wasn't paying a single bill at that time.
Well,
as you
it's like
mentioned,
it's
what
just
do you do?
one of like the many reasons. Now I know people. There's a large contingency of people that don't like this guy, but one of the many reasons I have a ton of respect for LeBron James is
Oh,
because
yes.
he had the weight of the world on his shoulders at 18 years old. Was handed, you know, the keys to the kingdom. Was handed all this money, and was not only that, but was said go perform
And handled it.
and handled all of it really really well. You know, and is still handling it all really well at 38 as a grown man with a family. But like at 19, I can't fathom the weight that was on his shoulders at 19.
I have so much respect for athletes or anybody that's a celebrity that has the ability to handle all that money and still be mature and still not get caught up in nonsense and mess. And that's honestly, it's not an excuse, but that's why I do understand when ridiculous things happen, when you hear about, you know, celebrities and pro athletes and whoever that gets caught up in the tabloids. Because like, if you didn't have, all right, I know we're going to get back to the hot stove in a second, but if you didn't have any bills, you have no responsibilities, like financially, you can literally get up and go wherever you want. First of all, you're going to get bored. Like I get bored when I have like 2 days off. I'm like, gosh, what do I do with myself? Imagine you don't have to work. You don't have any bills. You can just fly wherever you want, sail wherever you want, do whatever you want. That's a recipe for trouble. Like so I love the fact that certain people like a LeBron James have been able to handle that well, because that's a lot. I know I wouldn't have been able to do it. I know John in the chat was saying I would have been dead in a week.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that even 31-year-old me could handle $5 million just given, like, here you go. Like not over time, just like here.
Yeah. I'm with John Sequella. I would buy some golf clubs and build myself like a sick golf simulator room at my house that was like all pimped out with a bar and like lounge area. Like
Oh my god,
I would love to do that.
Yeah, that's why people have museums for houses, because when you have all that money, like you just have all your favorite hobbies in there. And you don't even have to worry about it.
Congrats to Jackson Chourio. He's a rich man.
Chourio, if you need some help with figuring out how to manage that
and there is a chance like
$80 million deal,
he
we know some people that can help.
There's a chance he becomes like a Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
Where you look at it and you're like, oh, damn it. They got the best player, the MVP of the league locked up at like way below market value. And people are going to go, oh, you shouldn't have taken that deal. You know, a lot of these guys have money to send home to their families back in the Dominican and other areas where it's life-changing, life-altering money. So it's hard to say, like, you shouldn't have done that. You could have gotten more. And it's like, okay, yeah, but I would have had to have waited 4 or 5 years to get that money. So it's almost like it's kind of a strange win-win for these kids because they get life-changing money. But if they perform, they outperform the money, and then they have to wait until free agency.
And that is where I do understand the value of being able to go straight into the majors or go straight into pro sports versus like going sometimes the college route or going and playing in the minors or whatever. Like if you can get the bag, and now at 19 years old, you have the ability to help your family out. You can buy your parents a house, you know, whatever. I definitely would. I understand that too. I respect that.
Dave P, you don't need Jackson Chourio money to get bidets. They're like $40 on Amazon. I've installed them on toilets. One of my friends, every time.
I used to have a bidet.
Yeah, one of my friends, every time
Not
one
a
of
real
our
one.
buddies moves into a house, his housewarming gift is a bidet.
Bidets are overrated. I think it's a weird thing. And we're not going to go into toilet talk.
We're not doing toilet talk.
We're not doing
Renee.
toilet talk, but
we're
that's it. I'm
promoting
just going to leave it
good
there.
butt health in 2024. Men, prostates, it's good for your. It's good for your
There's
butt.
other ways to
Clean your butt. It's
clean
good.
your butt.
Speaking of baseball, by the way, did you guys know that Hank Aaron was actually Milwaukee and the Braves when Hank Aaron was with the Braves? They were there for 12 seasons with Hank Aaron.
12. Okay, I
would have
said
said
much.
I would have said 5 or 6 before
Yeah.
they moved to
Getting us
Atlanta.
back
I
on
did
track.
not realize it was
12,
So
wow.
he's his first year in the bigs was 1954. And they moved to Atlanta after the 1965
1954,
season.
when announcers talk like this.
Why did everybody sound like that in the 50s?
Hank Aaron, by the way,
understand.
21 consecutive All-Star appearances.
That's a lot of days he could have
This young kid, Henry Aaron, takes his first at bat for the Milwaukee Brewers. This kid's got all the potential in the world. Why did they tell me? I got Renee pretty good with that.
so spot on.
Yeah,
I'm
it does sound like it. Yeah,
impressed.
thank you, thank
and
you.
I could picture you like you just instantly
With the
went
hat
into
and the little
black and
press
white.
pass.
Yeah, everything went black and white. Obviously.
Wow, this kid looked like he belonged.
The mics are all those like.
Smoke
The
is
smoke-
billowing around the press box. Yeah.
Why did everybody
Why
talk
it's so
like
weird.
that in the 50s?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Oh man.
This
Okay,
Henry Aaron
well,
kid's got a future.
and it was fast. Everybody spoke so fast.
Yeah.
I can't even try. I can't even. I can do a lot of different accent stuff, but you got me on that one.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about one of our partners here at PHLY Sports, and that's Wheelhouse Cards. See? I want to tell you about their locations in Wayne and Westchester. All right, I'm not going to do the full read like that, but I do want to tell you about Wheelhouse Cards. Wheelhouse is our go-to sports card, gift, and apparel shop in the Delaware Valley. Their motto is cards and community because the love of sports unites us all. They carry all your favorite card brands like Topps Chrome Baseball and Mosaic Football, as well as t-shirts, hats, and hoodies from brands like Mitchell & Ness, 47 brand, Junk Food Starter, and Shy Vintage Sports. Looking to grade your sports card collection? Well, Wheelhouse has got you covered with PSA grading submissions. They also host a ton of different family-friendly events and birthday parties every month. So stop into either of the locations in Wayne or Westchester, open 7 days per week at 11 a.m. Use that code PHLY and get $10 off any purchase of $25 or more in store. And also be sure to give them a follow on Instagram at Wheelhouse Cards. And while I'm rolling, I'm just going to go right into
Please
game
don't
time.
do the accent anymore. My stomach can't take it.
I was an upper deck man too, Dave P. Wink.
Ew.
Game time. They also use the code PHLY. I've used them a couple times now
man.
since PHLY is fired up. I learned about game time here. I'm telling you firsthand, it's an awesome experience. I got a pair of comedy show tickets. I got a pair of music concert tickets. I don't know why I say music concert. Sometimes I can just say concert. But I've used it both. And if you're looking for tickets to the San Francisco 49ers game this weekend, Game Time has got you covered because buying tickets should not be a pain. Game Time has flash deals and last-minute tickets. Easy to find tickets for every kind of event in your area. You can get image of your seat views. They have a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, you name it, they care about you and they got your back. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Woo. Okay. Thanks for the laugh. Thank goodness I wasn't on camera. You guys in the chat are hilarious. There were a lot of different comments all over the place that I wanted to hit on. I love the positive vibes that you guys are sending in the chat. I appreciate
MBD,
that.
huge shout out.
Love that some of you guys are making donations to March of Dimes as well.
Beautiful.
Unsolicited. Love that. Love that. And thank you for sending love to our brother Tyler. And also, I got a compliment in there. I'm gonna thank you, Ryan, Dave, Spiral Out, Santiago, everybody.
This Zuli kid's got
here,
a lot of chops.
But by the way, Santiago's right. We got to figure out a way. He said he said thank us by making call-ins a thing. We got to get call-ins in. Every once in a while.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I actually was thinking of some ideas. We'll figure it out for sure. But yes, lots of I know Chris is in the chat also. Like you guys are lovely. You guys are just great. All right, so there have been a lot of updates around the morning stovetop that I wanted to just quickly run through before we get into Guess That Ballpark.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm in the lead. So if you didn't pick up on that,
I'm gonna guess Great American Ballpark today.
So yes. So we had
Don't
the
do
Mets
that. It's wrong.
The Mets did have a couple signings. They signed Luis Severino to a 1-year deal for $13 million.
I hate to say this, and Tyler, I'm curious your reaction on him. I think this is a good deal for the Mets.
Well,
I hate to say that.
Tyler, I'll let you jump in before I roll through.
I think you make a good point, Jamie, when you always say 1-year deal. There's really no bad 1-year deals in baseball. It's kind of a flyer deal. I think you've seen some really good from Luis Severino, and you've seen some
really bad,
not so good from Luis Severino. And I think last year, he probably pitched under 20 games. I would say. I don't.
He pitched in 19 games.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched more than 19 games since 2018 when he was an All-Star. I think his best years are probably behind him, but I don't think he's cooked just yet. I just think last year was bad. Mm-hmm. I don't think he gets back to the 3.1 level of Luis Severino, but if he can get to 3.7, 3.9, I think on a 1-year deal, it's not a bad move.
Yeah, I think it's actually a smart move for the Mets after they just kind of had the Scherzer, or not Scherzer, Scherzer. Scherzer and Verlander things blow up on them. So, I think it's a low-risk potential decent move for the Braves. I hate to give them credit, but it makes sense.
They also, of course, signed Joey Wendell to a deal as well. And the Mets have been reported to be active on the starting pitching market. Apparently, they're not done yet. And they might not even be done in the short term, in addition to these other moves that we've seen from them. That's what SNY's Andy Martino reported. And the Mets are looking to sign 2, 3, or more of this mid to back of the rotation starting pitchers. So they're just getting started, apparently, with the Mets. So we'll keep an eye on the Mets. And then also the Royals had a signing as well, signing super utility man at that, Garrett Hampson, to a 1-year contract, another 1-year deal. And that was announced Wednesday that the deal is worth $2 million, 29 years old, had a solid year with the Marlins, and now has inked a deal with the Royals as well.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of the little trickle moves happening. And next week, there's a chance we get that flurry of bigger moves happening.
And that's what I was going to say. All these small moves are absolutely to
they're
lead up
little
for
table
the winter
setters
meetings. It's
for the main bird that's coming out.
That's a great way to put that. Like, they're putting out the placemats and this cutlery and everything as they're getting ready for the
utility men.
Right. This is all to set up for the big heavy hitter moves.
And that's Ohtani and Yamamoto.
Of course. And then also the Dylan Cease conversations are intensifying, reportedly.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball's website reported that they feel at MLB.com, that is, that a trade could happen before the winter meetings. Dylan Cease could be the appetizer for the main course of the winter meetings. That's possible. The Braves and Dodgers have been connected to Cease so far, as well as other clubs, but
Dodgers
seems like we
desperate for pitching.
They are it's the desperate Dodgers right now. So we might see Cease in a deal happening before the main entree comes out for the winter meeting.
Yeah, it's actually the trade market for pitchers is almost in a way better than the free agent market, or at least comparable to.
It is actually.
Because now, Corbin Burns, there's been a lot of discussion. Milwaukee kind of knows they're going to lose him in a year because Corbin Burns went out and got Scott Boras and company, which means we're not giving you any deals. We're going to get every last penny that's out there. So Milwaukee's at the point where you might be able to compete a little bit this year because you do have some talent, but also you're going to lose them. So what do you do? So Corbin Burns could potentially be out there. Shane Bieber is getting called by the Cubs and some other teams. Another Cy Young finalist, just like Dylan Cease was. And then, of course, Tyler's boy, Tyler Glasnow, also out there. So those are 4 pretty good names on the trade market. So that's another thing to watch for next week. Does one of those 4 get moved prior to, a Yamamoto or Snell signing? We'll see.
Yeah, and last 2 deals that I have before we move along is the fact that the Reds have agreed to a 2-year contract with right-handed reliever Emilio Pagan, and that was reported by Mark Fizand. Of course, he now has to go through the process. It's all pending a physical and everything, but Emilio signed a $16 million deal with a player option after the first year. And actually, that is my last one because I got through the rest of them already. So with that, I know there is some question about John Foley. I hope you guys enjoyed John Foley's piece that he wrote earlier this week. If you haven't already, Ryan or anybody else in the chat had a chance to check it out, definitely go check out John Foley's piece with us. It's first of many to come. And we always have Fridays with Foley. So John Foley will be joining us tomorrow. And not only is he joining us on the show, he'll be here with us in studio. So we're excited to have Fridays with Foley being in person. So yes, glad you can ask that, Ryan, because it teases us up as we get ready to wrap up soon. The fact that tomorrow is Fridays with Foley, with John Foley here.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We met John at a tailgate earlier this year during the playoff run, but it'll be good to see him in person and not do a long distance interview with him. And there's a lot in store for John, so we're really looking forward to getting that relationship blossoming and off the ground, and we'll do so in a major way very soon.
Got a lot of plant references today.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been a planty kind of a day.
Maybe subconsciously, like all the shrubbery at my house is dying. And it's just like bothering me because I don't. Some of them die and then regrow.
Yeah, and
so I don't know which ones to like knock off. I feel like I'm always gonna get yelled at because my mother-in-law is like our green thumb. She's like the person that's like, all right, do this, do that. She knows what she's doing. And I'm always like, can I take
green
this
thumb?
You do? Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you can come over and tell me what I
didn't say all that. Just have a green thumb.
I will have to get you guys.
I do a really good job keeping my plants alive. I don't have a garden or anything because I live in the city. But all of my plants live and thrive. They're probably dying right now. I probably just jinxed them.
Maybe when the weather turns, I'll have you and Tyler out to the house. We'll do a little barbecue.
Yeah, like I'm actually a really good landscaper. I help my parents with their house. I got all that down. Weeds and flowers.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm always afraid to pull or rip something out or trim something because I don't know. Like,
gotcha.
So I have a. So maybe that's where the seed thing comes from. I don't know.
It's fine. I'm the handy one out of the two of us. I'm the fixer, the landscaper.
Yeah. One last thing before we get to the Guess That Ballpark. I was reading Jim Bowden did his updated free agent list last night, and the top remaining 50 free agents, and I noticed something interesting, and it's former Philly Hector Neris. He had Hector Neris, who's probably the top like middle relief guy on the market. He had him rated higher than Josh Hader. Tyler, do you make anything of that? Are middle relievers now becoming as important as like back end guys?
So I'm curious.
They were like right there. It was like 38 and 39. Like Josh Hader was rated low on his list.
Is the monetary value taken into account when they have these conversations? Because I think if
I'll have to read.
Hader's going to make big bucks.
Yeah,
and Neris is going to get a good deal, but I don't think
bang for your buck.
It's not going to be. It won't be big bucks like that. So. If they take money into consideration, that may be why, because the team could look at Neris as he's probably best suited as a 7th and 8th inning guy. I think the Astros found that out. His numbers were great in Houston for most of the time there. I don't know what maybe they have a value grading scale, and that's the only thing I can ask, because if you're just looking at strictly what to bring to your team.
Here's how he did it. I missed this part because I just started right at number 1. He said, here's a quick look at each of those players who are ordered by their 2023 WAR, according to Baseball Reference. So Hector Neris must have been slightly just better than Josh Hader last year, which, that middle relief, high leverage back end, it's like, everything kind of goes in like waves. And it's like, I almost get the sense out there in baseball now that like, those middle reliever guys are like almost equally as important as your back end guys. Mm-hmm. Like there's almost been like a devaluing of closers in baseball a little bit because of what, like the Phillies approach, for example. They don't have a true closer. They kind of ride the hot hand, go with the matchups, high leverage spots versus non-high leverage spots. So I was just curious if Jim Bowden was like acknowledging that, like, maybe closers aren't as important as those middle relief guys. So
it does feel like there's a change.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So I just thought that was an interesting observation in his piece. Mm-hmm. Hector Neris, our old friend Hector.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. I'm not going anywhere, guys. Don't worry.
You leaving us, Renee?
Apparently, I'm out. That's it. I'm gonna go. I know King Krabs has a plumbing needs help with some plumbing, which
No.
it's interesting. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to continue with that, King Krabs. No, not going anywhere at all. I'm here to stay. And unfortunately, for Jamie, I'm here to stay because I'm mopping him up on Guess That Ballpark.
Great American Ballpark.
We should actually
I'm gonna get it right one of these days.
We should actually do one without even looking at it because that's probably just as accurate.
Yeah.
Just throw a name out there.
Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, for sure. So as always on this show, as we wrap up, we always do Guess That Ballpark, where Tyler Zulli, as well as our team, Chris Frezza, they put together a nice outline of the ballpark. I know we've got some new folks in the chat a little bit today. For anybody else that's listening on podcast platforms, go back and watch because I have been doing well. I've been doing well. I'm now up 4-2, according to the scoreboard.
But I'm gonna get Great American Ballpark one of these times, so it's basically like 4-3.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah, because I already have the great. I'm just gonna guess Great American Ballpark every day until I get it, and then hopefully I can take the lead.
So, with that being said, we've already had about 14 ballparks that we've done already. So we're just getting about halfway through, and now it is time for one of our favorite parts of the day. Guess That Ballpark. Tyler Zulli, what we got here, Tyler?
Yeah, real quick before we do that, speaking of the leverage situations with Hector Neris, over the last 2 years, and granted, this is one website's numbers, and this is Fangraphs, and they're pretty on top of their advanced stuff. But over the last 2 seasons, he's thrown 48 what they consider medium leverage situation innings, and he's thrown about 35 high leverage situation innings. The numbers are good in both spots. He is good.
I would like Hector back.
I mean, so like last year in what they considered high leverage situations, he faced 68 batters. Do you guys want to take a guess at how many got on base?
3.
A little more than that.
6.
13.
13. Okay.
He gave up 5 hits and 8 walks. Opponents hit 0.88 against him in 18 2/3 innings pitched in high leverage. They hit 219 in 28 medium leverage innings pitched. So I mean, Neris's numbers have been pretty good.
That's impressive.
And that's why Jim Bowden, his WAR translates to that, and that's why he's rated ahead of Josh Hader on Bowden's list. So.
Yeah, so let's have some fun now. Again, it's time for Guess That Ballpark. I know this is very difficult for some, for all of us, myself included. And so for all of you guys in the chat, be ready to put your guesses in. For anybody that's in there, Santiago, Mickey, Barbara, Ryan, Dave, King Krabs, John, make sure you're ready to guess that ballpark. And I'm not looking at the chat's answers. I'm going to go along myself. Okay. I don't need help. Maybe. All right, Tyler, let's see what it is. I'm nervous. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, that's. Oh.
And by the way, as always, you don't have to have the sponsorship name. Yes. Like if you give the team, like if you were to say, let's say Citizens Bank Park wasn't in Philly and you were like, oh, that's the Philly stadium, you get credit for it.
Okay, that's a very specific looking.
That is very wonky.
Oh gosh, and you guys that are talking about the timer, there's no timer here.
Well, when I get my guess in,
then we
usually give you like 3 minutes after that. We're pretty generous, right? We're givers.
Whatever.
Yeah, that right center field.
Ooh, I think I might have one. Okay, I have a potential option. We didn't do the Diamondbacks yet.
Are you asking?
Kind of. I'm consulting my list. Okay.
I wish I had a list. That would have been smart.
Oh, I always say I'm going to share the list with you, and I never do.
Yeah.
Well, you don't ask me after the show. I forget. I'm sorry, not the Diamondbacks.
Tyler, we have not done Detroit,
Rockies.
Have we, Comerica?
I don't believe we've done Detroit. No, I would have to go back and look, but I don't believe we have.
Wait. I meant to say.
I'm going to. Oh, man.
I actually think.
This one's so unique with that right center that you really want to get it right here. Is it Arizona with that pool?
That's what I actually am looking at. No. I'm not going Diamondbacks anymore. I retract. I take that back. We already did Fenway Park at one point. I see Yankees. We did Yankees at one point already. I know some of you guys have missed some of our past ones, but I want to clarify.
All right,
so
I'm
it's
going to
not
ramp
that.
it up. I'm going Comerica Park.
We did Detroit.
We already did Commanders.
We did. In fact, yeah. Spiral
Well, then
out.
my
I
got us
actually
back.
feel like it's Colorado.
My top answer has been taken off the board. Shit.
Oh no. We have already done about 14, unfortunately, for those that maybe missed previous ones. So like Fenway, Yankees, we're already done.
I'm going San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park.
Weird.
We haven't done that, right?
I don't believe we have.
No, we have not.
I'm going McCovey Cove, baby. Final
no.
answer.
Oh no.
Renee, we will give you your 2 minutes. Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes.
No, Siri.
It's already started. Don't waste time, Renee.
Oh wait, it kind of looks like that.
You're gonna pick
It kind of looks like it could be that one, but I still kind of feel like it could be Coors Field.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this game. No. I don't know. All right, in the chat, there's a lot of different answers rolling in. Dang it. Okay, now I don't know. I was like so sure of myself.
I feel pretty good.
Whatever. This is difficult. Okay, I kind of do see a little bit of.
Oh no! You better not piggyback on me.
No, we didn't do the Rangers yet. Wait. I kind of see a little bit.
You have a minute 5.
I kind of see some
Jamie,
Rangers.
Mickey says you just set off his timer.
What's that?
Mickey Durkin says you just set off his timer by saying set
actually
the timer.
hilarious. That's actually
That's great.
hilarious.
It's Shibe Park. Look, it's up there on the wall. Shibe Park.
Stop. All right.
50 seconds.
I think I know it.
50 seconds. Connie Mack. It's Connie Mack Stadium. Welcome into Connie Mack.
No,
it's a
don't
beautiful
start.
day here
No.
at Shibe Park in West
Don't
Philadelphia.
start. Born and raised.
This young Henry Aaron in town today to
Oh
see
my
if the
gosh.
Phillies can handle them.
Why was everybody's names back then Hank, Aaron? Like, I want to know the popular names back
25
then.
seconds.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
1954
Okay,
most
so-
popular baby names. Michael, Robert, James, John, Patricia, Deborah, Linda, Mary.
Wait.
Your times are almost up.
No!
5.
Oh, you guys are
4,
talking about me in the chat. I did used to play
3,
professional soccer.
2.
I'm a Hall of
Don't
Famer.
stall.
I'm a three-time All-American.
Don't stall this.
Wake up, Renee. It's time for a
Please,
final
no!
answer.
Oh my gosh. This is literally how I was taking a test, Mickey. I was the exact. Okay.
Final answer.
What did you say? Because you're wrong. I think it's Texas.
All right.
I think it's the Rangers.
Final answer.
All right, so I will say this. This is the first time in a very long time that no one in the chat got this question correct.
Oh, no.
Oh my
Did one of us
gosh.
get it correct?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ah! Wait.
Man, I suck at this game.
Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum. I am winning 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2.
Oh.
How does it feel? Ha ha ha.
Did you write this ahead of time or are you freestyling right now?
I'm freestyling.
All right.
I told you I got some bars. I can freestyle.
Damn it. I was so
let me
positive
collect
that was San
myself here.
Fran.
Let me collect myself here. It's not an upset, King Krabs. I'm the top seed.
I don't know how that's not Oracle Park.
It's not Oracle Park, Jamie. Are you trying? Tyler, he wants to throw a challenge flag.
You can. I'm telling you, Chris is right down the hall. You can take it up with him.
I don't
Flash it
see-
one more time.
It's not Oracle. Wow, we're showing it again. Look how straight the no, Jamie.
Yeah, I guess not. Damn it. I thought I had one. I'm so bad. Wait, put it up one more time here.
Oh, it feels so good to beat you. So good. Keep challenging. You are wrong. So, guys, okay. There's no cheating in this game, MBDBDBF. It's a really difficult game. It's really hard to do. People have tried to cheat. It's difficult.
Oh, no, you cheat. There's no doubt you cheat.
We're both cheating. I'm just worse at cheating, apparently. I thought of all the things I would be able to cheat better than you. You know, because you were like the good student. I was like the idiot.
I know. I'm actually really surprised. I never used to cheat in school.
You're cheating better than me.
Wow. Yeah, I was exactly like this in school.
100% going to be Oracle Park tomorrow, by the way. Just to like see if you guys get it.
If I miss Great American Park at this point, I'm going to be real pissed.
The downfall of Renee will be beautiful. No, guys, don't pray for my They used to pray for my downfall. This was fun. I had a blast.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad.
All right. The truth is, you just got to take your time. Some of you guys rushed to give your answers a little bit too quickly. Jamie, I'm looking at you, James Edward. Damn it. But you got to take your time. Jamie came into this when we first announced we were going to do Guess the Ballpark. This is why I celebrate. We first announced we were going to do Guess That Ballpark.
I thought I could get 10 or 11.
I wasn't all for it because I knew I was going to be trash. But Jamie, 10 or 11 was his prediction that he was going to get a third of the ballparks. And you still have time.
I guess.
You're like Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. You have a 5% chance of making it, and you're going to shoot your shot.
What a freak.
You're now, that's you right now. You're Aaron Rodgers and the Jets thinking you have a chance. All right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure. This has been fun. Love to do this again sometime. Oh, wait, we can. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., we will be back. We will also have
John Dickerson. They're clogs. They're not my wife's. She does not wear a size 13. They're mine.
Not you putting your.
John said I borrowed. What are those shoes? Ryan says.
Oh, they don't know about the shoes because we haven't talked.
These are my winter shoes where I don't have to wear socks.
We haven't been in here in a while, so people The first week of this show, we established that Jamie doesn't wear sneakers. Jamie only wears flip-flops, and those are Birks, technically.
Yes, they are not Uggs.
They're not Uggs.
They're Birkenstocks.
And he's not a sock person. He's not a sneaker person. So this is his winter footwear. Whereas some of us, ew.
No socks.
I think it's weird. I think it's so weird, especially in wintertime. All right, so we will have Fridays with Foley tomorrow. John Foley will be joining us. I hope you guys had fun. I agree with you, Chris. I wish this could be a 4-hour show. Jamie and I would love to chat with you and Tyler for 4 hours every single day. But instead, you get us for an hour and some change. And we'll be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. We'll have more fun. We'll do some comparisons. I feel like it's a great Friday topic to get into. But we'll have some great topics for you here on PHLY Phillies Podcast. As always, like, subscribe, follow. Continue to tune in and have fun with us. We enjoy each and every one of you that joins us with all the positivity and all the great dialogue. And we'll see you back for Friday's edition of PHLY Phillies Podcast. Have a good one, guys.
We all silly like the mayor.